Hello and welcome to my returning movie reviews. Those of you who used to watch my movie reviews, thank you, and most of you probably didn't. So I have reviewed them before, and this is not my first attempt at them, but I'm doing a little differently this time. This is more of a vlog format where you get my actual thoughts sort of right after seeing the movies. But what I will touch on today is a movie called Moon. It's a movie released in 2009, directed by David Bowie's son, and as far as I can tell, it's his first ever feature film. I'm going to do my reviews in two parts. I'm going to do the first part, spoiler-free, give you a brief overview of the story, and then a score, and tell you whether or not I think you should bother seeing it. The second part will be spoilerific, completely unbridled, just no-holds-barred coverage of the movie's story, what I thought of it, just things like that. So basically, I'm going to give you a countdown after my initial scoring of the movie, and then I'll give you a chance to watch it, and then you can come back, and then you can watch the rest of the review and see my thoughts on it, and then leave a comment. Tell me if you disagree or agree with me, and we can have sort of a discussion going back and forth on each movie that I review. I think it'd be kind of cool to do that. Begin spoiler-free zone. This is our zone. This is our barrier. I'm voguing. Okay, the movie goes like this. It stars Sam Rockwell, and Sam Rockwell, and Sam Rockwell. And that's pretty much the whole cast. There's also Kevin Spacey that does the voice of a robot companion of Sam Rockwell, but it's really Sam Rockwell's piece to make or break. So, here's the story. Okay, it's in the not-too-distant future, and we're spiraling out of control with energy, and we really need to find another resource, otherwise mankind will be doomed as we know it. Lo and behold, we end up finding out that the source of energy we've been wanting this entire time is on the least likely place that we would have looked. Yeah, it's the movie's title. That would be on the moon. Sam Rockwell plays a character named Sam Bell, and Sam Bell is on the moon in a base in charge of overseeing the harvesters. They mine the resources off the moon, and he's there by himself for a 3-year stint. He signed a 3-year contract, and he is in charge of, maintenance and things like that and everything. And he is given a life on Earth that we know about in the form of his wife named Tess and his daughter named Eve. And he only has 2 more weeks before he leaves the moon and goes back to Earth. So he's really excited and he's looking forward to it. And then he's driving out one day or night or whatever it is on the moon, I'm not sure. And he's driving in the lunar module and he thinks he sees someone in the midst of all this dust around the harvester. And as he's not paying attention, he wrecks his lunar module. He wakes back up in the infirmary, and he asks Gertie, who is his robot companion voiced by Kevin Spacey, he asks Gertie, he says, "Where am I?" And Gertie says, "You're in the infirmary." And he says, "How long have I been here?" And Gertie responds with, "Not long." "How are you feeling, Sam?" And after that, it goes through a few more days where Sam has to go through a rehabilitation process, even though the accident didn't look that bad. And he finally gets up and walks and gets out of bed a little early, and Gertie isn't expecting it, and he walks in on a live conversation between Gertie and Earth. And he had been told that the communication satellites were non-functional. Well, he asks Gertie outright, "Who are you talking to?" And Gertie proceeds to lie to him and say that he was recording a feed to send to Central Command. Well, things get a little more suspicious whenever he goes outside, tries to go outside rather, and Gertie locks him in. Gertie won't let him outside. Well, he makes gas leak into the base, and he tricks Gertie into letting him go outside to check on things. Well, of course, he doesn't just check on things. He starts driving out, toward the command modules and whatnot, and lo and behold, he finds a wrecked lunar module, and he walks on top of it and opens it up, and there's a body inside. That's pretty much all you need to know. Things from there get very interesting, and I would give the movie a B-. And I know I said the movie gets very interesting, and it does. And a B- might seem kind of low, but I have a few issues with it, and I'll address those in the second half of this review. Go now, check it out. It's worth a look. It's definitely captivating, to say the least, and interesting, to say the least. So, I'll see you back in a few, hopefully. Okay, spoiler zone. Look out. Countdown already happened. You've been fucking warned, okay? Alright, Duncan Jones. Obviously a big fan of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Humongous fan. Obviously just loves that movie to death. It starts out the parts with Sam on the bass alone seems like his own take on things, you know, like 2001. Like, he's got the robot companion who speaks pretty much exactly like Hal. That's how Kevin Spacey speaks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, think of the opening and ending narrations of American Beauty. That's exactly how Kevin Spacey voices Gertie in this movie. Sam Rockwell's performance is very, very good in this movie. He plays Sam Bell with great integrity, basically. He plays him like he's, you know, a completely believable character. And you really do feel for the guy when he opens up the hatch, spoiler zone, he opens up the lunar module and finds his own body inside the spacesuit, still wrecked from when he had wrecked before. He says, who is this? Who is, you know, he's screaming, who is that guy? Who is this guy? Why does he look like me? Who is he? Well, we see the first Sam, because there are now two Sams, wake up, and he proceeds to wake up and thinks he sees himself standing in his room while he's recuperating from his accident. And then he asks Gertie, he says, is there someone in the room with us? Gertie doesn't answer him. He says, you need to get some rest, Sam. Well, Sam gets some rest. Gertie's a robot and he doesn't need fucking rest, moron. Sam gets some rest and wakes back up and walks into the gym and finds himself working out. Jump roping, you know, is it jumping rope or jump rope? Whatever, who cares? Jumping rope. He's using the, you know, the punching bag, whatever. He's just going about his day. And he stops and says, how you doing? And he's like, how do you think I'm doing? And he goes, Gertie says, you're Sam Bell too. And he goes, I'm Sam Bell too. So, and they basically have a conversation about which one of them is a clone. So this movie takes on the theme of cloning and whether or not it's moral and what exactly a clone might experience, you know, because they are people too. The original Sam thinks he's not a clone, and then the new Sam is telling him, wake up, you are a clone. You know, he figures it out like this, which is one of the problems I might have had with the movie. Really figures things out really quickly compared to the other Sam, who sees himself, and, you know, he's in the exact same situation, but he's completely, almost mentally different. I understand, you know, it might be like Neo or something where there's like a genetic deficiency or something, and one is smarter and just gets it, you know, he's the one. And then eventually they do end up acting like each other. There are moments in the movie, too, that sort of don't add up. Like the old Sam, the first Sam, has to teach the new Sam how to play ping pong, because the new Sam doesn't know how to play ping pong. But who the fuck taught the first Sam how to play ping pong? It kind of incongruous, some parts of the movie. It just seems to like he was just trying to really go for something really emotionally powerful, and it just kind of ended up falling flat because the writing didn't really logically add up a lot of times. They hatch a plan, basically, to make the old Sam go back to Earth, and then the new Sam will stay and run things, and then they'll put, another humongous spoiler, they end up finding the cloning facility, the place where they keep the clones, and they convince Gertie to allow them to awaken another clone without either one of them being passed yet. And of course Gertie initially refuses and says, I can't do that. And then he goes, well, what is your function? And then Gertie says, my function is to keep you safe, Sam. That's all I want. And then, that's just a really convenient way of doing things. Seriously. Hal in 2001 Space Odyssey was very, very set on his mission. He turned on them, it seemed like, even though he was basically following protocol. Was it sort of saving the mission or... God damn it, I can't remember. I'll have to rewatch the movie. Gertie in this movie is very forgiving and very, you know, I just want to help you, Sam. Well, thanks. That really takes a big obstacle potentially out of the way, you know. That's the route they decided to go. They decided not to make machines the enemy. They decided to make the humans on Earth the enemy. Just, I don't know. It just felt like a lot of missed opportunities here. It was sort of like, it wasn't really overly politically heavy-handed, but it was really preachy a lot of time. I felt it was kind of preachy. I'm sorry. And, yeah, it just seemed like it tried a little too hard to be something great and ended up only something really interesting instead. So there's my thoughts on Moon, directed by Duncan Jones, a.k.a. the son of David Bowie. Till next time, let me know what you think and if you agree with me or not.